how's life changed? I mean, when you were,
Oh yeah.
because what were you, a VP or EVP? What was the title you had?
So I reported to the CEO. I was a senior vice president, but general manager is the key.
GM is over there with it. So what's the difference between, sitting in the throne versus, be on the right hand of the throne, so to speak?
There's no one, it's like one of the biggest differences is there's no decision you can't make. And, when you're number two at a Cisco or a Microsoft or, any of these big companies, you don't define the culture. I mean, you work for the CEO defines the culture. That is like, make no mistake. And if you get that wrong, it's like bad things happen. Okay. Because you can't have 2 people setting culture or 3 people setting culture. So that's like the hugest difference. In my company now, I said, the culture comes from me and, so there's no one that can tell me no, which is nice. I didn't have to check in with anyone in my new job, the last job. Well, there's downsides of being a much smaller company, but there's also a lot of upsides to it. Yeah. So there's this dimension of size.
You got now?
1,000.
1,000. Oh wow! People. So you took over the top slot and lost 80% of your
staff. Yeah, it's much nicer. It's less work for me.
You still can't know everybody, but you can know a lot of people.
I can know a lot of people.
Maybe 300 people, 400 people.
Yeah, I have a channel on Slack that I created. All 1,000 people ask me anything 24/7. I'll answer them instantly.
There's literally an Ask Jason on Inside Slack where I just said, listen, if you got a question, just ask it. F it. Like that's like the kind of the new culture of business, which is like, stop looking at the CEO as the God Queen or God King, because they're not. Yeah. You probably know the answer to your own question.
Exactly.
You're probably just scared of being fired, and that's why you're not just making a goddamn decision.
And I encourage people to post up there, and I will answer directly, unpolished. There's no comms people typing my answers. Oh God, there's none of that, right? It's just direct.
Got Facebook in trouble. Like, Facebook is so inauthentic that you're like.
You mean in the culture?
The culture
in their company
and communication.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
It was very insular. Like it's us versus the world.
Yeah.
Which was really good. Like that's a neat culture to. It's a very effective culture if you want to beat everybody. Is to just have that crazy
same as
competitive.
Uber.
Yeah, Uber I think had a circle the wagons mentality at times. It's fierce, but then it also leads to a blind spot, which is. Anytime criticism comes in, you're just like, well, that's just people who are trying to
take us down.
Yeah. So we should ignore it. And in both companies, if you look at it, ignoring the critics was great for focus.
Yeah.
It was really bad for self-correcting, unforced errors, I guess would be the way I would say it.
Yep.
You know what's interesting? You said something, I think, very profound, which just zipped by. And that's one of the reasons I love doing this podcast is I get 2 times a week to talk to really, really, really smart people who are in the field. You said you can't have more than one culture, and I realized, there is a word for having more than one culture inside a company.
Silos? Or what?
Tribalism,
yeah.
And it's the worst effing thing you could ever have.
That's why acquisitions are so hard. You're buying a culture.
Yeah.
You can't, but I've been through so many of those. You can't change that. You bring it in, it is what it is. And that's why so many acquisitions don't work.